Alright, here's a video on how to do 4.5. First of all, 18. It says, is x plus 4 a factor of this? And it says use the rational root theorem or zero theorem, and basically it says if you put in minus 4 and you get 0, that works. You can do minus 4 to the 6th minus 16 times negative 4 to the 4th plus negative 4 squared minus 16, and you should get 0. But there's an easier way to do this than putting it in that way. You can put negative 4 in synthetically. So if I write out these coefficients, 1x to the 6th, no x to the 5th, minus 16x to the 4th, no x to the 3rds, 1x squared, no x's, and negative 16, and go synthetically into here. If I come up with a remainder 0, that is a factor, which is, and it's actually the same value as this. If it comes out to be not 0, it'll be the same value as what I get here. So let's see if it is. So I'm going to put in negative 4, because that's what makes this factor be 0. That negative 4 would be the 0. 1 plus nothing is 1, times negative 4 is negative 4. 0 plus negative 4 is negative 4. Negative 4 times negative 4 is positive 16. This would come out to be 0. 4 times 0 is 0. Add 0. Negative 4 times 0 is 0. Add the 1. Negative 4 times 1 is negative 4. Add 0 and I get negative 4. Oops, almost made a mistake. Negative 4 times negative 4 is positive 16. And I get 0. Same thing I should get from putting that in there. And so that is a factor. I prefer this method over that method. Alright. 21. It says how many zeros could there be? Maximum number. Well, if this is a degree 7, there's a maximum of 7, because it could have 7 factors. Okay? So 7. 30. Maximum number of zeros. 5, because this could only have 5 factors. Okay, and 33, and 30 and 40, we're supposed to find the potential zeros, and that is factors of this, the constant, over factors of the 3. So it could be 1 over 3, negative 1 over 3, or plus or minus 1/3. And then other factors, well, the other factor of 3 is 1, so it could be 1 over 1, which is 1, and 1 over negative 1, which is negative 1. And so there are the 4 potential factors. For that one, in this one, we've got 6 over 4, and so 6 could have a 1, a 2, a 3, and a 6. And they could be over 4. I'll do this, plus or minus, or a 2, 4, or 2, over a 4, or a 2, or 4, or 2, and they all could be over 1, which would have been 1 plus or minus 1, plus or minus 2, plus or minus 3, and plus or minus 6. Now some of these are repeats, and you could weed out them and get them down to the minimum number there. Like 1/2 is the same as 2/4, and 2 over 2 is the same as 1. So there's a lot of these that are duplicates that you could throw out. But that's the concept that they want you to know. These are the possibilities. 45, it says find all the zeros. Basically, they want us to factor and set the factors equal to 0. We know that they have to be either 6 over 1. And so it could be 6 plus or minus 6, plus or minus 3, plus or minus 2, or plus or minus 1. But we can look at the calculator by graph it real quickly. Oop. push the right buttons. And that is x to the third plus 2x squared minus 5x subtract 6. Zoom, start with 6. And it looks like it crosses at -3, -1, and +2. So we'll just go with that. I'll start, it doesn't matter which one I start with. I'll start with the -3. And the coefficients, I got 1x to the third, 2x squareds, -5x's, -6. So I didn't have to put any zeros in. And so let's just go through and show that -3 works. 1 plus 0 is 1 times -3 is -3. That added up is -1 times -3 is 3. And that would be -2 times 6. 0. Went in evenly. Now I'm down to something I could probably factor, or I could put it in the quadratic formula. But we think it's -1 is one of them, so I'll just keep going with this method. 1 plus 0 is 1. -1, that's -2, that would be 2, 0, and now I've got x plus 3, x plus 1, and x minus 2 are my factors, and my zeros are -3, -1, and +2. Just like the graph showed me, -3, -1, and +2. And if I did zoom 4, you can probably see that better. There, -3, 2, -1, 0, 1, +2. All right, 50 basically says do the same thing. So now we just have more possibilities. It'd be factors of 30 over factors of 3, but we could take a 3 out first and say x to the third plus 2x squared minus 5x minus 10. So it'd be factors of 10 over factors of 1. So factors of 10 are 1, 2, 5, and 10, plus or minus. Those are only rational ones. And I'm going to type this in, but I'm going to take a shortcut here. Since the 3 came out, it can't be 0, so the zeros will be the same for this as this. So I'm just going to type in the x to the third plus 2x squared minus 5x minus 10. And let's do zoom 6 to see what we have here. Looks like it goes through 2 and a bounce at -2. -2 twice, it kind of looks like, and then something over here between 2 and 3. So let's just go, since the only rational ones have to be 1, 2, 5, or 10 facts, plus or minus. And so I'm going to do -2 twice, so hopefully it'll go in. So I have a 1, 2, -5, -10. I'm going to try -2. 1 plus 0 is 1. -2, 0, 0, -5, 10, gone. And so -2 worked once. I'm going to try -2 again, and that's 1 plus 0 is 1 times -2 is -2. That would be -2 times 2 is plus 4. That doesn't go in, so it's not a bounce at -2. So there must be another one close to it. Let's take a look at that by going zoom. Let's go zoom 4 first. Still can't see it, so we're going to go zoom in. And on that, I want to move to where I want to zoom in at. So I'm going to move the cursor over to right there and then press enter. And we can see it goes up and down, and it doesn't bounce at -2. It's got another one near it. But this is a quadratic, and we can find those real zeros by just, see, that says 1x squared plus 0x minus 5, and we're trying to make it equal to 0. So if we add 5 to both sides, we get x squared equals 5. Take the square root, and we get x equal to plus or minus the square root of 5. So now we know all three of them. By the way, the square root of 5 is 2.3 something, and so this must be negative 2.3, that other one. So our three zeros for this cubic are negative 2 plus the square root of 5 and negative square root of 5. And those are the exact answers, and that's what I really like you to be able to do. Okay, so now let's do the final one here. Solve this one. Well, the only nice numbers would have to be factors of 8 over factors of 1, which are 1, 2, 4, and 8, plus or minus. Let's see if anything looks like that. So go to the calculator, and we're going to type in x to the 4th minus x to the 3rd plus 2x squared minus 4x minus 8. And if I go zoom 6, I'd be able to see most of them if there are any here. And it looks like we might have minus 1 and 2 are those possibilities. Minus 1 would be a factor of 8 over a factor of 1, and so would 2. So I got minus 1 and 2 we're hoping work. So do I have all the powers? 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. So I'm going to write 1, negative 1, 2, negative 4, negative 8. I'm going to try the negative 1 just because it was the first one I wrote there. 1 plus 0 is 1. Negative 1, negative 2, positive 2, 4, negative 8, 8, 0. It worked. Awesome. So we know negative 1 is one of the answers, so let's make sure 2 is. It didn't bounce, that's why I'm not going to try it again. And 1 plus 0 is 1, times 2 is 2, that's 0. That's 0, that's 4 when I add, and that's 8, and that's 0, so that's awesome. And now we're down to a quadratic. We got x squared plus 4 equals 0. Which, if I subtract 4 from both sides, I'm going to have x squared equals negative 4. Take the square root, and I get x equals plus or minus the square root of negative 4, which is plus or minus 2i. So, if you could do that, that's awesome. But they said, in this problem, they just asked, what are the real zeros? And there's only 2 real zeros. There's 2 imaginary ones we were able to find, so that might earn you bonus if you did something like that. And that's 4 or 5.